The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
It's a Neverland Clubhouse, yeah. Think of all that we will share. Disney updates and fandom will take you everywhere. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters that will be together. Oh, join our Neverland Clubhouse, yeah. Two is twice as nice as one. Memories of friends and family, everybody is welcome. It's Courtney and Kelly, two sisters guiding you through Disney together, yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our 8th episode of the Neverland Clubhouse. This is the Disney podcast where we go to different parklands to share Disney stories, news, and what's going on with Disney Plus. We are your tour guides through Disney fandom. I'm Kelly, and this is my sister, Courtney.
Hey, everyone. Today, we will be taking you to Adventureland, where we are going to discuss all the details of our visit to Disneyland's reopening day, as well as our second visit on May 15th. Then we will be heading over to Main Street, USA, where we will be sharing some of our tips and tricks that we learned from our time in the park. Then we will end with some exciting news about Avengers Campus in Tomorrowland.
Today, we would like to dedicate this episode to our grandfather, Matt Turkel Sr., who passed away on May 14th, 2021. He had just turned 99 years old on May 6th. Our grandpa loved to travel and have adventures. He lived life to the fullest, and we honor him today by having some amazing adventures. No matter what we do, we will always see him waving his cowboy hat at us from the audience. We love you always.
So in memory of him, let's hop up on the Mark Twain riverboat and make our way into Adventureland.
So after 412 days of Disneyland being closed, they finally got to reopen on April 30th, 2021. And we were there.
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were. We were going to take you through our day and discuss what it was like to walk through those gates after more than a year of not being able to.
Let me tell you, the anticipation was killing me. It was absolutely killing me.
Yes. Weeks before, it was like, is it April 30th yet? Is it April 30th yet?
It was like
they kept
all I
announcing
could talk
things. About. All we could talk about. But why don't we start our day with parking? Because everybody's asking about parking, right?
That's right. So what we did is actually we went down the night before. We stayed in a hotel. And
we only live about 45 minutes away from Disneyland, but I wasn't going to have Courtney wake me up at 2:30 in the morning.
And trust me, it's been done before. It has been done.
So I decided that it was just better to stay down there.
Yeah. So we stayed at the Delta by Marriott, which was really nice. It was further
down on Harbor and kind of across the street from a Target. So it was very convenient.
Yeah. And so we got up about 5 a.m. because...
At least it wasn't 2:30.
Right. And because we found out, well, they had announced that the parking structure was going to be open at 6 a.m. the first weekend of opening of Disneyland.
Yes. And so we got to the structure at 6:30. It was a little later than we had planned, but 6:30 ended up being pretty good because we breezed right through parking, right through security, and right through temperature checks and all of that.
Mm-hmm. And then we had to walk the tramway, but we did get stopped like halfway down it because, they weren't really letting anybody into the Esplanade because people had actually gotten there at 4 a.m. So we were not a part of that.
They were waiting on the harbor side since 4 a.m. So I'm sure the Esplanade was already full of the people that were waiting on the harbor side.
Yeah. So they stopped us halfway down the tram because, nobody was expecting the park to open until 9 a.m. anyway. So it was fine.
Yes. It's $25 for parking, and now you can prepay for parking.
Yeah, you can. When you're getting your tickets, it asks if you want to add parking to it. So.
All right. So who did we meet in line?
We ran into Richard and Sarah from Skywalking Through Neverland. Yep. So
always the time go faster when you have friends along.
Yep. So we were like sitting there and talking and vlogging. We were like live streamed. It was so much fun. and
all of a sudden, before we knew it, we were through the gates.
Yeah, we were like 8 a.m. came and like they were walking us, and then they stopped us a little bit, right as we were parallel to downtown Disney. And then they were like, nope, we're taking you all the way through. And we got all the way through the gates, like a little bit after 8 a.m., right? It was, can't remember what time it was.
Yeah,
it was a little
like
bit of
10-ish.
8:10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And walking through those turnstiles, I squealed. I did. I know I did because there's video proof of it.
Right? Yeah, if you go to Skywalking Through Neverland and click on the opening day vlog, yes, you can see us squealing and jumping for joy and yelling, "Let's go to the castle!"
Actually, I think we said Haunted Mansion, but we didn't quite make it there.
No, Richard said Haunted Mansion. The three of us, me, you, and Sarah, we all said castle, and he said okay. So we went to the castle.
Well, before we got to the castle, we walked along the side, and there was cast members down Main Street, the whole way through Main Street. Yeah, the whole Main Street. And I tell you, we have been fortunate enough to stumble upon some Disney magic. We've been there when they've been filming for things. We've been there when people are having concerts. Celebrities are there. They're having a cavalcade of celebrities for a movie or whatever. We've done some pretty cool things at Disneyland. This by far had to be the coolest.
Yes. And it was so emotional, just the walking down, like the cast members waving at you and saying, "We missed you." And we said, "We missed you back." And I literally was so overwhelmed. I didn't know where to look because there was cast members on both sides of the street. And then I just was like, "Thank you, thank you, right? Thank you." Like I just saying that, I kept saying that because it was just, you wanted to thank them for being there, for coming back, for being in an environment that's some people don't even want to come back to, like some people just didn't want to come back because of the safety protocols and everything. But people are coming it's a
back.
higher risk situation.
Yeah, they have smiles on their faces. They're enjoying being back. I can't even believe like how they were thanking us, because they were thanking us for coming back. They were thanking us for being there. They were saying, "We miss you." But like, all I wanted to do was thank them because
for coming back and opening the place
and being able to go to our happy place. It was very overwhelming, and I definitely shedded a few tears.
Yes, definitely was like, I'm so emotional. And then, but the line of cast members included everyone from like the Candy Palace to like Indiana Jones, like all the attractions, because it was basically before the park really was open. And it had supervisors and managers and leads and very special appearances by none other than Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, Ken Potrock, president of Disneyland, and Josh D'Amaro, who is president of all of the Disney parks.
And while that was so incredible to see them welcoming us back into the park, it was really incredible to see them supporting their cast members and being there for them and making sure they were okay. And that, to me, shows that the company cares and that they care and that, they're doing something right with the company. So I love seeing that. and it just all throughout the day, people were like, "Are you okay?" Like, making sure everybody was social distancing, making sure everybody was wearing a mask, because people are so used to walking around and drinking, walking around and eating churros, walking around and having their Dole Whip or taking a sip of water. And those things just weren't possible at the time. Still not possible right now. We may be moving towards something different, but it's a hard job. And to monitor everybody with the safety protocols. I myself, at my job, have to monitor our guests in a retail location, and it's not easy, and not everybody is very cooperative. So we want to thank everybody for being so understanding, and just remember that cast members are just doing their job, and if they're telling you something, to just do it.
Yes, because we want to keep Disneyland open.
Yes, but we did have a great day. This was overwhelmingly a great day. We didn't do everything.
No, we didn't get a chance to do everything.
We didn't get to everything because everything was just so overwhelming. But we did take some pictures in front of the castle, which we had not done in forever.
Right.
I think we have pictures from Walt Disney World's castle mostly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so the first thing we did is we bought the Photopass, 1-day Photopass for $19.99, so it's about $20. Yeah. And I would say it is well worth the money for it. They did a fantastic job. They do magic shots for you, which are the little superimposed little character additions that they superimpose onto your pictures. So after we got our bearings, we bought that, and then we got in line for our castle pictures, and we also did partner statue photos, so in front of Walt and Mickey. So those are very cute.
If you do buy this Photopass, make sure you do those photos early as well, because those Photopass photographers will kind of go away towards the end of the day. So make sure you do them early. But always ask for your magic shots, and always ask if they have more than one magic shot, because they usually do. And some cast members will do as many magic shots as you want. So make sure you ask.
Get that money's worth.
Yes. So what was the first ride that we ended up at?
We ended up doing Snow White's Enchanted Wish first, because the line was all the way out to Main Street.
And we got done with our castle pictures, and the line was right next to us.
Yeah. So we were like, let's get into this line.
Yes. So we didn't wait very long for it. I would say it was probably a 30-minute wait, if that.
But it looked long. It did.
Yeah, it looked longer. But that's because they weren't letting anybody into, like, the inside queue. Mm-hmm. You basically were, like, the only party that
to walk through
the walk through to the ride vehicle. So once you got to that point, you just basically walked right up to your ride vehicle. So how is Snow White's Enchanted Wish?
Oh my gosh, I love the updates they did to this ride. It's so good. Like, I mean, I know, like I said, we never really rode it as kids, so we don't have that nostalgia. I only found out about it once we became pass holders in high school. Like, I always did think that the woods part, the scary woods, was just a little bit too long. So now that that's completely gone, and they've put in the diamond mine where the dwarves work, and I think it's so much better, and I think kids can relate to it, a lot more now, and they won't be so scared.
Yeah, when we went to Walt Disney World, and they have the Snow White's mine train roller coaster over there, they have a lot of the diamond mine stuff with the dwarves. Yes. And I think that is a good selling point on that ride, because it's more kid friendly. If this was the ride when I was younger, this would have been probably my favorite ride. because it's not as scary as the forest that was there before. It's very sparkly, it's very shiny, and you smell a gooseberry pie when you
Yes.
first go into that
But I
first
do
room.
think that kids are still going to be a little bit frightened of it, because the one thing that scared our niece so much when she first went on it was the fact that the queen turned around from the mirror into the hag. And they kept that part. So I do believe that will still frighten kids. Probably.
It will, but I feel like it does need it for the storyline.
Yeah.
To happen in the ride.
Well, like I said, I'm glad they kept that. Like, I would have been mad if they had removed that. So
yeah, so because you need to know that it's kind of like you're looking at it as if they're the same person. So they're showing you that this queen is also the hag. And I don't know if kids will get that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think that they are going to like this ride better now, because it is so much more like Disney princessy.
Yeah, because Snow White actually gets her happily ever after.
Yeah, you actually see the prince, and she wakes up, and they have the horse and the prince and Snow White, and
because before you only saw like a 2D painting of the prince. Like, he wasn't in the ride at all. He was only at the very end when they were like, and they lived happily ever after the hag falls to her death. So yes, it was a very abrupt, sad ending, and then they were like, but she lived happily ever after. That's fine.
Yeah, so I love what they did to it. I wish this was the ride when I was a kid. And I recommend going on it just to see the effects that they've put into it, because the mirror breaking is incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
There's like one part where the mirror shatters, and it's almost like a 3D effect, because you kind of feel like it's shattering all over you.
Yeah.
But it is incredibly a special ride now, I think.
Yeah.
So after we did Snow White's Enchanted Wish, we headed to Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
And we had mobile ordered our Ronto wraps in line for Snow White's Enchanted Wish.
Yeah. Get those mobile orders in early.
Yes. And we found a spot to sit. It was a hot day, but we did actually find a spot to sit. And,
it was 94 degrees. 94 degrees.
It was very hot. It was very hot. And at this point, I think we all needed a mask break. But who did we find in Galaxy's Edge? We met up with Kevin Toft and Max Cervantes from the Max Effects podcast.
Yeah, so we were all in Galaxy's Edge together.
It was incredibly special.
Because
we did stop to take some pictures at the Millennium Falcon, though.
Yes, we did. And we got lots of force push pictures and just fun pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, that was, again, part of our Photopass of the day. And that was just really fun. We all had our Skywalking Network hats.
Yeah. Which looked fabulous with their black and teal. I really like that.
Oh, yeah. I love those hats. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes.
But after we headed from Galaxy's Edge and had a little rest, because it was 94 degrees, we went over to the Haunted Mansion.
We did.
And met up with some other friends of ours, Jasmine and Tyler. And there's a couple new updates to that Haunted Mansion, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And there's a changing portrait right in front of the Doom Buggy station, and it's Miss April to December, and she's the one that changes from a young girl to an old woman and goes back and forth. And then also in the line, the cemetery's been updated a little bit. The pet cemetery has been updated with, I think, a few new animals, new headstones a little bit.
Yeah, there's a
New
few
animals.
headstones. Not too much. And if you don't go on the Haunted Mansion, like every single time you go, you probably wouldn't have really noticed the
pet
changes.
cemetery. Yeah.
Yeah, the pet cemetery. Hopefully you would have noticed the portrait.
Big portrait.
Yeah.
Because it's big. And then there's a one-eyed cat in the corner. Right after the big December portrait, there's a one-eyed cat, which is a nod to the original story concept, where there was a one-eyed cat that was supposed to lead you through, but then I think the cat became a raven. I think that's the story. Is that instead of the cat leading you through the mansion, there is a raven that follows you around.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So that was a nod to the original storyline.
Yeah. And there's a bit of social distancing in the stretching room. There's only 5 groups allowed in the Haunted Mansion stretching room. And
where the 5th one is, well, the 5th one is usually the disability one. So that's where the wheelchair would go, is on the 5th circle.
So the way they're combating that is they're letting people go through a secret entrance, which we did not get to go through either time.
Yeah.
But they are, sometimes, if you're lucky enough, get to go through a different entrance. And that would be fun. But you would miss the stretching room completely. So take what you can get.
But if somebody asks you if you're good with stairs, just do it. Just go.
Because you may get to go somewhere where you don't often get to go.
Yeah.
And then after we went to World of Disney, we did park hop over to DCA because we had Lamplight Lounge reservations.
Yes. And we got to sit on the what was it, where the Cove Bar used to be. It's just like, so they weren't seating anybody down below when we had our on opening day. They may in the future, but at that point they were not seating anyone down below. So we just sat in the old Cove Bar area, and we had some drinks and some lobster nachos. I got lobster nachos, which was really good. And then did you have the barbacoa?
I did get the barbacoa nachos, and I don't think I've had a better barbacoa anywhere. It was good. It was so good. It's a little spicy, but just a tad. Not too bad. And our waitress was fantastic. She kept bringing the drinks, bringing waters, because it was 94 degrees.
Yeah.
And I think we all drank like 5 glasses of water.
We drank water. We also drank sodas. Like our table was full of just drinks. Any kind of drinks you could think of. The table was full of drinks.
I just remember a bunch of fun wheels. I don't know.
Yep, there was quite a few fun wheels.
But it was all good, but it was the hottest part of the day, so we ended up just kind of staying there for like 3 hours eating lunch.
And we were also catching up with friends. We hadn't seen them in a while, so
it was good. We were talking and catching up, but like I think we spent the hottest part of the day in a cross breeze of Lamplight Lounge.
Yes.
So it wasn't so hot.
Yeah, we did not feel the brunt of it because we were under a covered area and next to the lake, so there was a cross breeze. So.
Right. And then we went over and did aerial undersea adventures.
Yeah, although the air conditioning was not working. It was so hot that like it was hot in aerial.
To get air. Yeah, went in there to get air because, as you get plunged into the sea, this big wave of air conditioning usually comes over you, and it was not air conditioning. It was almost hot air.
Yeah, it was not. And, not the cool, refreshing thing that we once knew.
No, but So then after that, we went to Guardians because we were like, oh, okay, well, that's not working with the air conditioning. We can go and get some air over at Guardians.
We did Guardians, and we did Incredicoaster as well.
And the Incredicoaster, and we got some air there too. And it was really fun, really nice. The park, of course, is only open till 7 o'clock. So we hopped back over to Disneyland to do a few rides over there.
Yeah, we did Indy, which on our experience on Indy, it was fine, but the line was so long, they took us up to the top of Jungle Cruise because you can't go inside Indiana Jones and use that long queue that they so brilliantly designed. You can't use it right now. But when we got all the way in there, the ride did stop right after the arrows.
Oh my gosh. Terrified me. Me.
Yeah, and then it did that whole like start and stop thing all throughout the boulder scene. And this was opening day, mind you, but it was later on in the day. But I was like, you had a year. You had a year. And don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite rides. It is. It's like the ride I'm always like, okay, I need to do this ride every time. But I was like, you stopped us right after the arrows. Like they shoot you with like the air blasters for the arrows, and start and stopped every time through the boulder. I was like, you had a year.
Yeah, I don't know if that was, and maybe it was
a fluke, maybe
malfunction, maybe it was wheelchair, maybe it was disability access. I don't know, but yes, that was rather disappointing that we got stuck there, because I think we've gotten stuck there the last few times that we've ridden Indiana Jones.
That was a year ago.
But all is good. The ride was great. And then our friends left us. They went home. It was about maybe 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. And we decided, okay, well, let's go over to Galaxy's Edge to ride Smugglers Run.
Yeah.
It was the scariest thing
it was the scariest thing. It was scary because there was nobody. It was a 5-minute wait because it was the end of the day, and nobody in line, and
not a soul.
Like literally, we walked the whole way through all of the queues, and until they like literally told us, well, how many is in your party? Go this way, and then they took us to our own like little shuttle. And it was just me and Kelly, and we were both the pilots for this one, which we should never be pilots.
What we wanted to be, and it's like, well, I guess we gotta be the pilots because
right?
Well, who else is gonna pilot it?
But we were literally by ourselves. It was like the only time probably ever that we will walk Smugglers Run by ourselves.
Yeah, it was eerie. It was very creepy, and like I love it. I love No Wait. And No Wait is great. But like no one, not a soul, just the cast members, just us on there. And just us piloting a ship. And I don't know. It was very, very cool, but very weird.
It was an interesting experience.
It was. But that was probably the only time you'll ever get to do that or say you get to do that. So you can check that off our bucket list.
Right. Ride Smugglers Run by ourselves.
Completely by ourselves. And
I think that rounded out our day, I believe. I think
yes, because we did not get over to Tomorrowland to do any of that, or we didn't really get over to Splash Mountain or anything.
No, and we didn't get Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, we didn't get Rise of the Resistance, but we've ridden it.
That's fine. That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. But we headed over to Earl of Sandwich to meet up with our Skywalking Network family.
Yeah. And that was fun. We sat there and just kind of chilled until, it was time to make the walk back to the parking garage.
Luckily, we remembered that we were on Donald because most of the time Courtney can't remember where she parks the car. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole different story.
I need to take pictures of where I parked the car.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite part of the day, though?
Oh, just being back. I mean, definitely walking down Main Street is a favorite. I would say Galaxy's Edge, just sitting there eating Ronto wraps. That was the first time I've ever had a Ronto wrap, and just talking and getting to meet some of the Skywalking Network in face-to-face in person for the first time. Like, it was the first time I've seen Kevin in face-to-face for the first time.
Yeah, that was so fun. Yeah.
I think just hanging out. And then we ran into our friends Susan and Matt, on walking our way from, Galaxy's Edge to meet Jasmine and Tyler and Kevin to, Haunted Mansion. So just seeing people like everyone we knew was there. So, and we ran into Jen Diz from the Disneyholics on Indiana Jones. They were right behind us. So, I mean, just like any podcaster was definitely there. It was just fun seeing everybody there again.
Yes. I couldn't imagine a better opening day, and a better start to our day than walking down Main Street with the cast members.
Yes.
That was my favorite part by far. It was such a good day and we had such a good time, but we didn't get to do everything. And we kind of figured we weren't going to get to do everything because it was only open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And you just can't do everything in that time. So we had another day planned.
So we went back on May 15th.
Yes. And this time it was just the two of us. But of course, those are my favorite days because those are our...
We just kind of take it... Days. Yeah, we just kind of take it, as it goes with the flow. And it's just the two of us. So it's kind of easy just to be like, okay, let's go here. Let's go there. You're not catering to a bunch of people's plans or anything like that. It's just the two of us. And we just it's mostly me deciding where we're going. So
I kind of just go with the flow with whatever Courtney wants to do, usually. But again, I'm a Tinkerbell and that we do not zigzag through the park. So she cannot hop over from Space Mountain back to Splash Mountain back to Space Mountain. That is not allowed.
No, it's not.
But this day we only had Disneyland reservations. We only had one park, one day. And I really enjoyed this day because we have not spent a single day just at Disneyland in a very long time. Because if you can park hop, why not park hop?
Exactly, right?
But I really did enjoy spending the entire day. And this time it was open a little later. It was open till 9.
Yes. And so we initially had the whole stress factor of when do you get Rise of the Resistance boarding groups? Do you try at 7 a.m. and risk getting a low number and missing your boarding group because you're stuck in the parking structure? Or do you try later in the day, or do you just try your luck? Well, we tried our luck at 7 a.m.
I mean, most of the time you're going to try your luck, but tell them why you had such agonizing stress over this Rise of the Resistance boarding group. It was because
I was like, well, we didn't get to do it. Yeah, because my friend Susan went on May the 4th, okay, and she was like, they got a quite a low boarding group, and then they were stuck in the parking structure for quite a while, and she was afraid that she was going to miss it. I think they ended up just making it, but I know you do have an hour to return, and I think they're pretty lenient. If you have a boarding group, you can go, but a lot of people, even online, are very stressed about getting these boarding groups and making it there on time, because literally the parking structure after opening day weekend only opens at 8:30 in the morning. So they say. So they say. Sometimes they open it a little bit earlier, but the posted time is 8:30. We got there at 8:25, and it took us about a good 20 minutes to get through the parking structure. We did not, even though we got there before the parking structure opened, before Disneyland opened, we didn't get into the park until 10:25. Yeah, and then we sat and ate at Jolly Holiday.
Oh, we had the perfect little spot on the corner right on Main Street.
Yeah.
We could see the castle. We could see the little Main Street. It was like the perfect little spot. It was so
and we ate cinnamon rolls.
Oh, they were so good from Jolly Holiday. If you've never had the cinnamon rolls from Jolly Holiday, please have them. They're so good.
Yeah. We decided that we were going to make our lunch plans while we were eating our breakfast. So we decided we were going to mobile order from the French Market.
Yes, for lunch. But I also decided to look at the app and see if the virtual queue for Indiana Jones was up and running, because they have now made Indiana Jones a virtual queue as well. It doesn't go as fast as Rise of the Resistance, but it was available. And when I did the virtual queue at 10:30 in the morning, we got group 100, which was not called until almost like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So
probably more closer to 3, because I think we were like off it by 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And what the virtual queue for Indy does is that you cannot enter the queue unless you have entered it virtually. So they won't even let you get in line for it. Kind of like Rise of the Resistance. You can't even get in line for Indy unless you have this boarding group or virtual queue group. So
if the virtual queue is up and running. If the line is short enough, it may not be running, but check your mobile app just in case.
Yeah. And so after we did that, we went and started in Tomorrowland, because we did not get to do that on opening day.
No, and that's what we normally do. We normally start in Tomorrowland on a day where the two of us go. We normally start with Space Mountain. So I wanted to start with Space Mountain.
And we did buy the Photopass again so that we could get the Space Mountain photo, and also, maybe try out other Photopass. But then we found out later on, well, in Disneyland, the Photopasses are just in front of the Millennium Falcon and the castle. And that's basically where we found them. And by the time we did it later in the day. So by the time we're like, let's go do our photos, we only found the guy in front of the castle. That was it. So, and he did make it worth our while. He gave us about like 3 magic shots, and he did a lot of different poses. And we had gotten the Space Mountain photo earlier in the day. So, but if we hadn't gotten all those, I don't know if it would have been worth it. So if you're just doing Disneyland one day, one park, just be aware that probably if you're going to get Photopass, do it earlier in the morning where more Photopass people are out in the Main Street area, because they're not everywhere in the park. That's where we're mainly different from like Walt Disney World, because when we were in Walt Disney World, Photopass people were everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there was a Photopass person. At Disneyland, not so much. I think they mainly make up for it by having them all over in DCA.
Yeah, there's a lot of them over in DCA.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't have that park hopper, then it might not be as worth it as it was on April 30th. But, if you want those pictures in front of the castle, do those Photopass. Do the Photopass, because those are incredible pictures. They got some magic shots in front of there, and they'll pose you to your heart's content. So, that was definitely one of the letdowns of the day, but we still got incredible pictures.
Yes. We started off with Space Mountain, and we went to Star Tours. We were not the Rebel Spy.
No, we were not.
Nope.
And then we did a ride we haven't done in like, I don't know how long, Autopia.
I wanted to go on Autopia.
Now, the posted wait time for Autopia was 40 minutes.
Yeah, it said 40 minutes. And Kelly was like, do you really want to wait? And I was like, well, we got to wait for something. So, yeah. And so,
And how long did we actually wait?
like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like less than that, like 8.
Yeah. It literally was not that long, but the postage, because by the time we got off, I think the postage time went down to 5 minutes or something like that. Because I looked back at it and it went down to like 5. Because I was like, there's no way that was 40 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that was not 40 minutes. And we also did another ride we haven't done in forever, Small World.
Yeah. We don't always do Small World, but we do like to do Small World when we can.
We normally do Small World when it's Christmas. I love Christmas.
Definitely when it's Christmas.
But
and then we
love Small World.
Yes. It's not that it can't. Yeah, it's not that we don't like it. It's just that we do go often, and so we don't always do it. And then after that, we did Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, and I haven't done this in a long time because we don't usually make it over to Toontown. So this time we made it a point to go into Toontown, especially since we knew that some of the characters would be out meeting in front of the houses. I think we ended up getting Pluto in front of his house, if Pluto in front of his house, and Marie was up in the gazebo. Marie from the Aristocats. You don't normally see her out, and she was in the gazebo in Toontown.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And so we told Marie she looked pretty, and she gave us a little.
Pretty.
Yeah, she looked pretty.
And then it was time for Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
So making our way around the circle of Disneyland, from Tomorrowland all the way to Galaxy's Edge. Oh my gosh, I still love this ride. Rise of the Resistance.
It was good.
It's an amazing ride. We got to be on the red side, which is the red and blue side, which is the side that goes up and meets the at.
Yes, the at.
And then and that is it's one of my favorite rides right now. It's really cool. I think I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad that we don't get the debriefing from Ray, but I understand. But it still is a good time. I hope so. I hope so. Yes, it'll come back. So after Rise of the Resistance, I think it was almost time for lunch.
Yes.
And we went over to the French Market.
We did. We had to walk all the way to French Market. And how mobile ordering works is you say that you're there, and then you wait for your screen to turn purple. But then you have to go wait in line to go pick it up. So. Yeah.
People think that just because you say I'm here, your order is going to be automatically ready. No, you have to say I'm here, and then it says preparing your order, and you have to wait for it to say your order is ready and the screen to turn purple. The purple is your notice to go and get it from wherever stand the mobile order stand is. So wait for that purple screen, because the cast member will tell you it's not ready yet if you don't have a purple screen.
Yes. And I got the cup of clam chowder. I was kind of sad that it wasn't in a bread bowl. But
they gave you a roll.
Yeah, they did give me a roll on the side to dip into the clam chowder. So I did. It was a cup of clam chowder. And then Kelly, you got a Caesar salad?
Yeah, I had a chicken Caesar salad, which was actually very good. The chicken was covered in some Cajun spices. And it was very good. I love their Caesar salad. I think I've had it before. We also had the bride's bloody wedding cake, which was like a sour cherry vanilla cake with a bunch of frosting and blood splatters all over it.
Yeah. And it was like it was a cream cheese.
With sour cherry cream cheese
filling. Right? Yeah. And it was like buttercream icing.
And of course we were eating, so we had to think about what we were going to eat for dinner.
Right?
Because you got a mobile order early.
We decided we were going to do Bengal barbecue.
Yes, because where else are you going to eat?
We also mobile ordered Dole Whip. Dole Whip.
Oh, yes. And guess what? We found out that they have mango whip. Mango Dole
Yeah,
Whip?
it's like a cross between mango and pineapple Dole Whip.
And you can swirl them.
Yeah. It was so good.
It was so good. So we ordered that for like dinner and dessert. We ordered it about the same time so that it would be ready kind of together. That was kind of a good tip too. Then we just rode a bunch more rides.
We did get into the virtual queue. Indy came up and it was time for us to ride. And let me tell you, that line was insane. And it continuously moved. But what it did is you got in line and then it took you to the upstairs of the Jungle Cruise like it did on opening day. But then this time we went downstairs. So, and then it took us out and around the attraction. And then you went back up the stairs and then you went through the long queue upstairs.
And back down the stairs and then into the Indy queue up until you got to the temple. And
this time we didn't have any problems with Indy.
No, this was actually, I think they did some maintenance on it and I think that they polished it up.
Yeah, but that line, and I understand why they're doing the virtual queue, because once Jungle Cruise comes back, like they're not going to be able to use that queue because Jungle Cruise will have a long line because it's going to be brand new with new scenes and stuff like that. So everybody's going to want to, see Jungle Cruise. So I understand why they're trying out that virtual queue with Indiana Jones, because Adventureland is just not that big. It bottlenecks very easily. And, right now we're still social distancing. So it's probably best to implement those virtual queues right now.
Yeah. And actually when we got dinner later on, we hit Bengal barbecue, and actually there was like no seating over by Bengal barbecue. So we actually took our dinner and ate by the water over by
where Fantasmic usually is.
Yeah. And that was beautiful, but we did run into a very hungry goose.
Oh God, that thing was big and it wouldn't leave us alone. Until some guy took a chair and like swatted it away. Like, come on, let's go. Because it literally, let me tell you, Disney ducks are not afraid of people. And that goose was big.
Not a duck.
It was like a goose.
Canadian geese or something. He was like an actual goose. And like, there was a lady over sitting next to the table across from us. And she was throwing chips for this goose to eat. So, like, he thought, like he was gonna get chips if everybody had it, and I was like, I don't have any chips for you. You have to go away. I thought he was gonna get aggressive, actually.
Yeah, until this other family sat down, and the guy was brave enough to just like shoo, go away. But before that, we went on Snow White, we went on Pinocchio, we went on Alice. It did start to get cold and I didn't bring a jacket. We went to Star Traders and I bought a new Spirit jersey. I bought the R2-D2 Spirit jersey. So, it's always an excuse to buy a new sweater if you just don't bring one.
Yeah, I actually did get cold later on too, and I bought a sweater myself. I bought a attraction sweater. It has all the attractions on it.
And cool. Looking back, we probably should have had Bengal barbecue for lunch because it was so cold. Then eating the Dole Whip, it just made it even more colder. I was like, Do I really want this?
I was like, I really do. I really want it.
Yeah. And then I also I finally got my churro.
Oh yeah, we did get you a churro. It tasted good.
And it was really long.
Churro.
I was like, I don't remember churros being this long. It was very long.
I don't think we've ever gotten a churro at Disneyland, though.
I don't know.
That was like our first churro in a long time. But it was such a good day, and we were wearing our Magic is Back shirts that we got the opening day, and it was just so nice. It was exhausting, though.
It really
I don't think we've ever had a more exhausting day. We just kind of back and forth.
I think that when you don't have shows or a parade to break up the day, and you just go bouncing from attraction to attraction to attraction, it does get very, very exhausting. Because I mean, I know at Universal, I have Express Pass on our annual pass, and when you just go from attraction to attraction to attraction, I feel like I got hit by a bus, because like you're just going and your adrenaline is like going and doesn't get to come down, because you're just going from ride to ride to ride. So I do feel that maybe that's why it feels more exhausting, even though it's not open till midnight. It's only 9 to 9, because you don't have those parades. You don't have those stage shows right now. So, yeah.
Well, the lines actually move very quickly right now. They're not as long as they say they are. So you're actually never really stopping. At all.
You're always on the go.
It was an exhausting day. It really was. Always got to have that Advil on you and make sure that you take care of those aches and pains.
And drink some water, because, I mean, it wasn't as hot on the 15th as it was on the 30th of April.
It was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful, like 73-degree day. It was beautiful.
Yeah, but it definitely was like you probably should have hydrated a little bit more.
And I think we ended the night at Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh was our last attraction that we did right after Smugglers Run. So we kind of did that.
Oh, and Smugglers Run, we got to go back and say that we were the only group on Smugglers Run. We were not the only ones in line this time.
Right. So it wasn't as eerie.
But we both decided to be engineers.
So guess who pilots when you're both engineers and nobody else is in there? Chewie! Chewie pilots it if nobody's the pilot. And Hondo Anaka talks at you, So
yeah, but it still was not a perfect flight, because I think they give you stuff to fix.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So there was a lot of crashes, even though Chewie was piloting. So.
Yes.
We're not the only ones who wrecked the Millennium Falcon.
Oh my goodness.
But that was kind of fun and interesting to see what happens when nobody pilots.
Yes. And, it was also really fun to be there when it was dark, because I love the castle all lit up, all the lights on Main Street. It's an incredible sight.
Yes.
Because the last time it was still light outside at like 7 p.m. and we didn't get to see it all lit up.
No.
So it was really, really, really fun.
Yeah. And then right as we were walking out, we walked by the firehouse and the lamp was lit in the window, and we said goodbye, goodbye to Uncle Walt. We'll see you on June 4th for Avengers Campus.
Yes, we're going to be back there for Avengers Campus. So after spending 2 days in the parks, we'd like to share some tips that might help you on your trip to Disneyland and or DCA.
Yep. Number one is to get there early, especially if you're trying to get those Rise of the Resistance boarding groups. Get it from home, but if it's boarding group that is too early, plan out your day, but get there early. Just plan on getting there early.
Yeah, so Mickey and Friends, typically they say it opens a half hour before the park opens, and hours vary right now. I think they're going to be moving to 8 o'clock soon.
July 1st. So July 1st, they move to 8.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you get there early enough that you can make it through security and all of that before you get into the turnstile. If you don't care about getting through the park, you don't care about the virtual queues, you can wait in those long lines, but those long lines will get long.
Or if you don't get there early enough to get the virtual queues, you may not get to ride that ride at all.
True. But there's going to be even more virtual queues coming. So you may have to decide on virtual queues.
That's true too. All right. So also get those get your virtual queues early, whether it be Rise of the Resistance or, like we said, Indiana Jones is starting to test virtual queues and that they might keep. You can look in the Disneyland app and they under virtual queues or boarding groups, they have them listed there, and that's where they'll say join group or not available right now. So just keep an eye on the app because that's where you're going to get all of that information. They are adding more, like in DCA, maybe for something at Avengers Campus. So just be on the lookout. Like there are multiple virtual queues now.
Yes, which also you do want to keep that Disneyland app pretty handy because your tickets are on there, your mobile orders are on there, you can make dining reservations on there, and virtual queues are on there as well.
Photopass is on there.
Everything is in the Disneyland app, and you will want your phone and your batteries charged, so make sure you do that as well.
And be prepared to walk the tram route. Right now, because of social distancing, they are not running the tram. So you are going to have to walk from Mickey and Friends all the way to the front gate. So make sure that you can walk the trams. If you can't, then they are doing stroller and wheelchair or EVC rentals, which is the electric wheelchairs. They are doing them at the bottom of Mickey and Friends. So you can use those to ride up the Mickey and Friends tram walkway, so just make sure that you're prepared to walk that because the trams are not going.
Which brings us to mobile ordering food. Think about your meals way ahead of time. As of right now, there's not a lot of restaurants open, and most of them are mobile order. And when you go to be hungry, maybe it'll tell you that you can't be hungry right now because they don't have any mobile orders available. So you have to think about your lunch when you're having breakfast, think about your dinner when you're having lunch, think about your breakfast when you're in your Mickey and Friends parking structure or before. Just make sure you're planning ahead for food because there's not a lot of just stop, quick, let's get something to eat places. Hopefully that'll change in the coming months, but right now you do have to mobile order everything.
And if you want that churro or that pretzel, there's not a whole lot of carts around either. So like Kelly was telling me that on opening day, she had to go all the way to Main Street to get a water bottle because there wasn't anything in Adventureland. So,
well, this was this was from Indiana Jones. We had just come off of Indy, and I needed some water. And that little cart that's usually there, right next to the Bengal barbecue seating area with the waters and the pickles and the fruits, wasn't there, so I had to keep going.
And then also to that end, if you see an end of the line, just get in line.
Yes,
because because if you go to the actual
time.
You're wasting your time if you go to the front of the attraction. So if you see a line and that's the attraction you want to do, just get in line. Usually there'll be a cast member at the end of the line holding a end of the line sign and it'll say the attraction on top. Sometimes I know for Snow White and the Enchanted Wish, it said Snow White on the top of the end of the line sign. But for Haunted Mansion, it was only just a end of the line sign. I don't think it said Haunted Mansion on it.
So if you see the end of the line sign, get in it. Maybe it'll be a surprise what ride you're riding.
Right? Ask people around you, what line are you in?
As it will get confusing. But if we want those trinkets and our sweaters and our tumblers and our souvenirs, we must shop early.
Yes. Because there's only one way into a store and one way out. And if you leave it to the end of the day, then you're going to be in a long line down Main Street to get into that shop.
Yes. If you're willing to wait in an hour line after park closing, I guess that is your choice. But if you don't want to wait in that line, shop early. The shops are pretty much empty during the day. You can pretty much just walk right in them. And if you see something, just get it. Because
you don't know when it's going to be there. It may not be there the next time, or it could be a limited edition.
The shop that it is in on Main Street may not be open, or they may not have everything out. So, if you see something you want, just get it. I know it's a pain to hold things. I don't like holding things at Disneyland either. But right now, shop early and get what you want when you want it.
Park hopping has been easy, but remember, capacity is increasing. It has already actually increased to 35%. The last 2 times we went, it was only 25%. So it has increased. So there may come a time when park hopping is hard, but right now it's easy.
Yeah. It's just something to keep in mind, because as capacity grows, there just may not be enough capacity to park hop. We have been told that they kind of take into account the park hopper tickets, so that if you have a park hopper ticket, you should be able to park hop. But, we saw in Disney World that sometimes capacity can hit its limits, and then they'll have to wait until some people leave to go and park hop.
Exactly.
And the last tip is that lines are just not as long as they look. They move pretty quickly, and even though Pirates was out to almost Big Thunder Mountain, it didn't take. I think it took us 20 minutes to get to the front of the line of Pirates. So don't be afraid of the lines. We all love Fast Pass and Max Pass, and we're all used to just waiting 5 minutes for a ride. So 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes can seem longer than you want to wait. But the lines move quickly, and they're not as long as they look.
Yep. Just remember, at Universal, they go up to 180 daily. So Disneyland lines are not that long right now.
Yes.
But I do have one more tip. If you can't find any seating around like the Frontierland or even in front of Pirates, close to where you think you're going to eat, Tomorrowland, we constantly saw that it was pretty much empty over there. So you could definitely find a seat over at Tomorrowland if you're not finding it anywhere else in the park.
Yeah, so they have the Galactic Grill over there. They definitely had a lot of seating right in front of Matterhorn right there. And then they had seating all along the way of Matterhorn going down to Small World. And there was also tables out on a pier type thing right there too. So definitely, if you can't find seating in a very congested area, they've given you a tray normally. We got a tray from Bagel Barbecue. We got a bag from French Market. So you can easily travel with the food and find a seat. So we did notice that it was very empty along that Tomorrowland Galactic Grill.
Yeah, and like she said, they have anticipated that there isn't a lot of seating in some areas, so you may have to walk a while to find a seat. So they are packaging it in to-go boxes at some places. So just be aware of that too.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Matterhorn is going to be reopening soon, and some things will be changing maybe with seating. They may take away some seating. They may move some seating. Just always be on the lookout for that. And I think that wraps up our tips and tricks for today. I hope this helps you with your Disneyland trip. And we're going to head into Tomorrowland to talk some more about Avengers Campus.
All right, everyone. The opening of Avengers Campus is right around the corner on June 4th. Disney has given us previews of what this new land is all about. They have dropped details about food, beverage, attractions, and merchandise. They have even given us a guide map to look at before we go.
Yes, this is so exciting. I'm so excited about all of the Avengers Campus news. And we got some news that dropped today. As we're recording this.
Right?
We were like, we must talk about this right now. So there's going to be a virtual queue for Web Slingers. Same as Rise of the Resistance. You'll be able to enter the queue at 7 a.m. Don't have to be in the park. And then you'll be able to try again if you didn't get it at 7 a.m. at 12 p.m. And you have to be scanned into the park.
Which I could see this once I don't think the park reservation system is going away anytime soon.
Not yet.
But if it does go away, I could see it posing a problem because then you have to choose between Web Slingers and Rise of the Resistance. Which virtual queue are you going to get into? Because I don't know if they're going to interfere with each other, but how fast are you going to be at 7 a.m. to get a Rise of the Resistance and a Web Slinger? Ticket. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to be possible because Rise of the Resistance is still going, sold out in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for Web Slinger for a while. Once capacity limits go away. But I think right now it's at an advantage of, at 7 a.m. if you have a starting park ticket at DCA, then you're going to try for Web Slingers at 7 a.m. And if you have a starting park ticket at Disneyland, you're going to be, at Rise of the Resistance for a virtual queue. Because you can hold, that's the thing, is you can hold a virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance and Indiana Jones at the moment, because that's not going to affect it, because we were able to hold both of them at the same time, except for Indiana Jones, you have to be in the park in order to join that queue. Whereas Rise of the Resistance, you can be out of the park at 7 a.m. and join the queue. So there's different ways of doing this. But I think the problem is going to come with that 12 p.m.
And we don't know much about this ride. We know that you'll be able to sling webs, but they've released a web tech, which is, they're describing it as, you can use the power of your favorite superhero to personalize your experience.
It is an addition. It's for a separate fee. It's in the one of the shops. There's currently 4 of them. So it's Spider-Man, Ghost Spider, who's Gwen Stacy in the comics, and then Iron Man and Rescue, was Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts character, and she wore it in Avengers Endgame. So the Iron Man and the Rescue have the repel rockets that Iron Man has that you could use during the ride. And then the Web Slingers, like the Spider-Man and Ghost Spider, they I think they have the power to shoot multiple webs at the same time, and they're electrocute, they are filled with electricity, is what I saw. So they're one of the things.
Different webs.
So different webs. Different webs. Yeah. It just is supposed to enhance the experience. You don't need them to experience the attraction because you're using your hands, but it does enhance your experience.
And they do say that you can use this at home too, as well as on the ride. So I think this could be very interesting. It may change up the ride every once in a while, if you're willing to spend the money on the extra edition. That's very cool. I'm all for that.
I just remember to bring it back, because if I buy it, I won't remember to bring it back.
Yeah, that is something. But let's talk about the food.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the food for some reason.
I know, everything looks so good in the pictures, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to be big stuff and little stuff, it's like Pim's Test Kitchen, which is from Ant-Man. And they've got Pym particles, glowing particles in your drinks.
The red and the blue. I think the red makes it bigger. Red makes it bigger and blue makes it smaller, or vice versa. I don't know. Somebody write in and tell us. I don't know. I should know this, but one of them makes it smaller, one of them makes it bigger, but they do have that for sale.
Yes. And the breakfast looks amazing. They've got
know.
French toast.
One of the days we need to get breakfast there.
Bacon. Yes. We're going to be there like 3 days. So we're going to be trying everything. They've got specialty beers and cocktails at the Pym Tasting Lab.
Tasting lab, yeah.
Which is going to be really fun. All those specialty drinks.
The good thing about Pym's Test Kitchen is it's all mobile order. It's not a sit-down restaurant, so you don't have to make a reservation, but you do have to plan ahead and find out when you're going to want to eat there, because everybody's going to want to eat at Pym's Test Kitchen.
Yes, and if you'll go into mobile order, it might say you can't mobile order until 7 o'clock at night, so make sure you do that early. So there also is going to be a shawarma place. These are look like pita bread chicken things.
Yeah. But you said there was more than one, right?
Yes. So there is 2 different carts. So it looked on the map to me like there was one by the Avengers headquarters, and then one over kind of by where the old Hyperion Theater is. So there's also extra seating over by the Hyperion Theater. Or
interesting.
What used to be the Hyperion Theater. I don't know if it exactly is.
Well, the theater's still there, but Frozen's not coming back, so we don't know what they're doing.
Over there is another cart is what it looked like on the map, which is great news, because then at least you'll have a split up the crowd of getting a shawarma, because I don't think the shawarma place is mobile order. It didn't say it on the guide map, but I'm not sure.
We'll have to see in the Disneyland app to see if we can mobile order from a shawarma cart. Mostly, yes. I don't know if it will, because I think the churro carts and stuff like that, you can't mobile order from. So I don't know.
Right. And so then they do have some plant-based options as well. They've got pasta and impossible meatballs. They've got a few other things that are more plant-based. They've got things that you can share, shareable items. I've heard all of about this $100 sandwich that feeds 8 people. I don't know what that is. They say it's a panini that feeds 8. That's $100. That might be a good deal if you're splitting it with 8 people or more.
Exactly. Yeah. Or 10 people.
I don't know.
I do know that one Instagrammer, Disneyland Nurse, that he is getting a group of 30 people together, and they're going to buy 3 sandwiches and try this big $100 sandwich. So
we'll see.
You know what? If you can only spend $10 on a sandwich, that would probably be the way to do it.
I mean, most of the time you spend about $20 on lunch or dinner anyway for yourself. So if you're splitting $100 between 8 people, maybe it's worth it. I don't know.
Right.
But I guess you all got to eat the same sandwich. And then there's the Terran treats.
Terran treats.
Terran treats, sorry. And you got sweet spiral churros with different
I want to try this so bad, because they are, I think they said there's 6 of them that all corresponds to the different infinity stones. So and they're in spiral. So it's not a regular churro, it's a spiral churro. I'm wanting to try one.
So you're excited about that, but I'm excited about a cosmic cream puff. I can get a cream puff in Avengers Campus. It's a purple cream puff, but it's a cream puff.
I mean, that's going to be interesting in itself.
I know. I think it says it was a raspberry cream puff, and I'm all over that. So that's over by Guardians. which kind of makes sense with the theming. And then there's going to be shops. And the shops aren't called shops. They're called web suppliers.
Ah, that's cool.
And this is what I found out on the guide. So web suppliers, there's one that is called the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, which is web, basically. And it's a one-stop shop to find everything to accept important missions.
Oh,
That's what it said. I don't know exactly what's going to be in there. Probably those web slingers.
yeah, the web gloves. Yeah,
That's probably where you'll find that.
the spider bots. They do have spider bots that you can buy. And
Spider bots and all the Avengers Campus, everything tech. So then there's the Campus Supply Pod, which is all the place to power up with official Avengers Campus gear. So this is going to be your shirts, your sweatshirts, your pants, and all of that, all the clothing, all the bags, probably, I don't know, whatever merch they have. And then it also says you can find more Avengers Campus gear at Stage 17 in the Backlot Premier Shop, which they are calling an off-campus shop.
I also heard that people who are lucky enough to go starting May 29th, they can start to buy these things beforehand. So they can already get the, enhancement when they go ride the ride for the first time on June 4th. So I'm kind of sad we don't have a trip planned beforehand, but yeah. Oh, well. Well, this new lounge sounds fantastic and so incredible, and we cannot wait for June 4th to come. We will be there all weekend long to try out everything we can.
Yes, and we want to give a big shout out and thank you to Rob Dellinger for composing our theme song. To hear more of Rob's work and to see where he'll be playing next, please go to his website, alpharhythmkings.com.
We are part of the Skywalking Network, Skynet, where you can also find other great shows like Talking Apes,
Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics,
the Max Effects Podcast,
Resilience Squadron Podcast,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the flagship show Skywalking Through Neverland. Sign up for the weekly Skywalking Network newsletter. Sign-up form is available in our show notes. You can check out all the Skywalking Network podcasts and articles at skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at Neverland Clubhouse Pod.
You can also find us in the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group. Just search Facebook for Skywalking Through Neverland group. Request to join and then answer the questions that pop up. Do it or we can't let you in. All right then, second start of the right and straight on till morning. Join us for our next adventure from the Neverland Clubhouse.